Hey, Nick, do you prefer the cheerleaders, the majorettes, or the dancers?
I mean, it depends on how they're dancing.
What kind of dance? Well, I mean, majorettes have batons, so are they just out?
I mean, you can do a lot with a baton as long as it vibrates, but I do enjoy a stanky dance.
That's true. So probably
I'll
the
take
dance
a
team.
little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Hey guys, it's your favorite final girl and your favorite final boy, Nick and Emily, coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly episode or weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and shred the worst slasher movies. This week,
Best and worst.
Best and worst. This week we'll be slashing through 1987's The Majorettes. As always, Emily's got an original VHS copy, so get our batons out and hear what's on the back of that fucking box.
From Shockmaster John Russo, co-author of the original Night of the Living Dead, comes The Majorettes. Prepare for steamy action suspense thriller at a high school of horrors. The Majorettes are being terrorized by a twisted madman who is knocking them off one by one. The town is baffled. Nobody seems to have a clue about the real murderer. Is it Mace Jackson, a jilted boyfriend of one of the victims? Is it Jeff Holloway, the school's star quarterback, who's being perfectly framed for the crime? That's not true, but okay. Is it Harry Schuler, the perverted school janitor who's been acting very suspicious lately?
Vent voyeur.
It's after school and the majorettes are rehearsing their precision routines. By the end of the day, there will be one less majorette and one more vicious act of murder. It's pure terror from start to finish in The Majorettes, 1987. What are your thoughts on this movie?
On this movie?
No, the other one. Yeah, this movie.
Oh, yeah. That movie, the other one, is really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. And I don't know. There's not much to say except until we get into it.
You can go ahead and get into it a little bit.
There's a lot of tits. I like it.
I do like it. I find it ridiculous. I find the characters of Harry and Helga ridiculous. I don't understand them. I find most of the characters pretty ridiculous. And
I like Jeff, and then towards the end of the movie, we'll talk about it when we get there. But like, there's some weird stuff that goes on. But no, I enjoyed the movie. Was this shot on video?
I think it had a very, very limited theatrical release.
Okay, so like, I couldn't tell. Like, if it was shot on video, it was shot very well.
Yeah, it was released in Europe.
Yeah. Under
the title One by One.
Those guys will take anything.
Yeah. So
what was the title?
One by One.
Well, Majorettes was better.
It was released in theaters there, but it wasn't here because they were trying to secure a release in America. They finally just ended up negotiating for a home distribution deal with Vestron.
Yeah, seems the best option.
Yeah. I don't know how it did in Europe or even where it was shown, but
it's the biggest movie in Europe ever. Take that, Hard Day's Night. That was an American hit.
It was. Yeah, Hard Day's
Europe
Night.
Never liked the Beatles. Only America and Japan.
Nope. Nowhere else.
That's a little known fact. Europe hates the Beatles. That's why they left. They hated David Bowie too. Get the fuck out of here, Starman.
Yeah. They liked Roxy music, though, because they never hit it as big in America.
Well, they were so fey. They loved that stuff.
Yeah. The Majorettes. Back to the Majorettes. I do like the opening. I think it's cool how the skull comes out. Credits? Yeah. No, not that part. Before that, with like the purple and the skull.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing we see are the Majorettes dancing and
30-year-old cheerleaders.
And they're having their pictures taken, but I guess for the yearbook or something. They're having their pictures taken. But all they're doing is dancing in their leotards, and they don't even have their batons. So I'm not sure how anyone is supposed to know that they're majorettes at this point, because their batons are sitting somewhere. But you would think if you're taking pictures of majorettes for something that they would have the batons.
I would imagine.
I mean, it would make sense.
Also, they look very, very much older than high school, cheerleaders would. It's like, oh, god damn, Debbie never gave up the dream.
Well, that's why I thought for a long time, or not for a long time, I've only seen this movie like twice, but maybe 3 times. The first 2 times I watched it, I thought the detective character was dating one of the majorettes because she looks the same age as all of...
Was he not dating one of them?
No, it's the coach.
Okay, yeah. So he is dating the coach, right?
He's dating the coach.
All right.
But for a long time, I thought she was the same age as all... I thought she was a majorette.
Oh, yeah, they look about the same.
Yeah. Which is
That's good casting.
Yeah. Well, at the end, I guess so. Anyway, so while this is all happening, this creepy janitor is watching them. Now, this character, we're going to find out, his name is Harry, and he is the son of this Nazi-sounding nurse named Helga, and he has the accent of Gomer Pyle, so I'm not really sure how that worked out.
Yeah, well, that proves that eugenics don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Because he totally got none of the dominant genes from his mother.
None. No.
I don't know what fucking hick she spawned with, but...
I don't know how he never picked up... I mean, even that school, they don't have that hick of an accent.
I guess trying to raise the master race in Indiana doesn't work out.
How do you know it was Indiana?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't... Okay. I mean, I'm not saying...
It looks like Indiana.
I can't say much because of my accent. I'm just saying that, like, my parents, though, have my accent, but worse. My mom isn't sitting over here sounding like, Dr. Mengele.
No, well...
Is that how you say his name?
Mengele?
I mean, whatever.
Well, I was raised by an atheist, so I'm godless and have no accent.
That's not true.
Hey, y'all.
Well, you can do... You think you can do mine pretty well. Okay. We've gotten Harry out of the way. Not really, though, because we cut to a shower scene. And it just so happens that they're all talking about Harry being creepy. And then we see...
He licks a mop handle.
Well, we do see shortly after they talk about him being creepy that he has a peephole, but it's not just a peephole, it's the entire vent opening of the bathroom.
Yeah, he's the vent voyeur.
Yeah. But this girl, Vicky, one of the main characters, she says he's okay, but that's only because Harry is the son of Helga, who is Vicky's grandmother's nurse.
That's not confusing.
And Harry lives at their house as well.
Of course he does.
He has a dark room there also, which is...
Okay. Photography.
Yeah. Then after that, it cuts to what I thought at first was the inside of the most heinous Catholic church I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Turns out it's not a Catholic church or a church at all. It is Vicky's grandmother's house, Elvira.
That's just how she lives. That's how Elvira lives.
Elvira doesn't really live much. I mean, she's...
I don't know. After seeing this movie, she probably had the best time.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Elvira, the grandmother, does not change her facial expression once in the entire movie.
And that is the best acting we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in Elvira and Vicky's house, and it's also Helga and Harry's house.
I want to meet girls named Elvira and Vicky.
I know, and she's like 90 years old anyway.
I don't care.
Helga, who is Elvira's nurse, she's in a wheelchair. She's mute. She doesn't speak. she's basically talking to Elvira about how she's going to kill her and get all of her stuff when she dies. And then she says something about that she has plans for Vicky and then Elvira, but she doesn't go into it much at that point. She just says she has plans for both of them, but Vicky first.
I love how like nobody really like whenever hiring this like stay-at-home maid or whatever, or like, you know, nobody noticed that she was a Nuremberg nurse. You know, like, what
and
the
that
fuck?
her son sounds like he's from
maybe that was the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's like, well, she's got this idiot son, so maybe she's not a Nazi.
What's that movie, like the Wild and Wonderful Whites?
Oh yeah, the Jesco White stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That he's part of that family.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Well, no, that's the beautiful thing about Nurse Helga is she came over to Indiana and somehow fucked her cousin.
Somehow, like her cousin,
I don't know.
Her cousin and
her other German cousin
in like Mississippi, and I'm talking like Mississippi burning Mississippi.
Yeah. I don't know how they got Harry.
Who knows? We don't know who the dad is. We never find that out. That would be an interesting story to flesh out.
To tell you the truth, I like this movie. That would be a better movie.
Just knowing the story,
the backstory of how that guy came to be.
Yeah. So after we see her basically, you know, being like, I'm going to kill or I'm going to, you know, take care of Vicky. I'm going to take care of you. Basically saying, I'm going to kill you.
Well, see, that's the problem with Nazis is whenever they say, hey, take care of this old lady, they don't understand the meaning of it. They're like, I'll take care of you and then I'll take care of your children and your lineage.
She definitely knew what she was talking about. We cut to a car pulling up into kind of a lover's lane type sitch, and
sitch. You got a little sitch going on.
Yeah, you got
there?
a sitch, and we have Tommy, who's a nerd.
Hey man, Tommy's kind of cool, and
he's portrayed as a nerd.
Yeah,
so
he gets played like a bitch.
He does, but he is portrayed as a nerd. They talk about it later, so that's why I said that. So he's on a date to this makeout spot with Nicole, who is one of the Majorettes. And he's really confused as to why she even wants to go out with him, because she's
I was a little too.
Yeah, I think everyone was. Well, they talk about it later. So
they talk about it pretty quickly.
But she's like, I want you, and you're going somewhere in your life and whatever. So she starts trying to have sex with him, but then she's like, I can't do this. And
he gets a good tit grab. He tries not to. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. But she's like, I can't do this to you. You're too nice. And then she admits a lot. So she admits to him that she is actually pregnant by the local gang leader, Mace.
The school tough,
who wants her to have an abortion, but she wanted to make it with Tommy and say that he's the father.
Yeah, she wanted to blame it on him.
And Tommy's like, I can't believe you go out with that dope pusher.
You know, if she would have just held her fucking her shit clear, Tommy would have fucking owned up to that. Or is that his name, Tommy?
Wait, Mace or Tommy?
No, not Mace.
Tommy, the one she's on the date with.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Dude, he would have totally taken care of that kid.
I know, and he was going somewhere.
No, she fucked it up.
And so apparently Tommy is this person she barely knows. But now he's like her main source of advice. Okay. Then we see I do think the killer is pretty creepy. I think the garb that he wears is pretty creepy. And
It's like military camouflage.
Yeah, and there's with a whole like sack camouflage over his head.
Yeah.
There's one scene later on where it's really creepy.
It's effective, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we see this guy in military garb on top of the car, and he starts thrusting his knife into the top. Once again, like in a killer workout, I don't know why they couldn't just like lay down in the seat, but cool.
No, they just sit and look at it and scream.
Yeah. Tommy, he's able to get into the top because I guess it's fabric top or something, like a convertible that has, I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
Tommy's going places.
The killer is able to grab Tommy, and he pulls him out of the top of the car, and he slits his throat. While he's doing that, though, Nicole gets out of the car and runs away. And by the way, the amount of time after she gets out of the car pretty quickly.
Yeah, it sounds like she's running away from a lot more than the car.
And it takes him a while to get Tommy out, slit his throat. So she had a pretty good advantage on him.
She had a pretty good dude in the car there too.
But she had a good advantage. Like, she had a good running advantage on him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so after he kills Tommy, he starts, going into the direction of where she is, which is in the woods, which, I don't know why you wouldn't just keep running until you got out of the woods, but whatever. She runs for a while. This adds even more time that she should have been able to get away from this guy.
While he was dealing with Tommy.
Exactly. She had a good lead. But at one point she falls very briefly, but she doesn't fall for that long. But somehow this fall, he's able to catch up with her in 0.2 seconds, which I didn't find.
No, from around
believable.
a tree too.
Yeah, no, well that she falls before the tree.
Okay.
And that's when he first gets up to her and slices her arm, but she's able to get away because she hits him with some wood. But I didn't find it probable that he got up to her that quickly when she had that much of a lead and she had just fallen for like half a second. But okay. So she gets away from him at one point. He's down. And instead of continuing running out of the fucking forest, she stops by a tree for an extended amount of time.
Yeah, it is too long.
She's just standing there. That's not endless woods.
Well, hey, man, when you're a majorette, you got to pose.
Well, she should have had more endurance. And the woods end. It would have gotten somewhere.
The woods always end.
It's just annoying. Anyway, I guess, the movie wouldn't have happened if, she had been... Anyway, but...
Again,
all right.
Again, might have been more of an interesting movie. Might have turned into Stone Magnolias.
Oh, God. You know what? Fuck Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I agree.
That was my favorite part of the movie when she died.
Yeah, me too.
I do like Dolly Parton, but...
Fuck Sally Field's feelings.
I do like Dolly Parton, but she was better in 9 to 5. And I do like the part with Sally Field. Well, I don't like it, but...
Who was the other girl in 9 to 5?
They're Jane Fonda and
Jane
Lily...
It was Lily Tomlin?
Lily Tomlin,
was
yeah.
it? Okay, yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Much better than Still Magnolias. And also a way different vibe. But anyway, okay, sorry.
I thought it was a sequel.
It came out before.
Everything turns out all right.
It came out before Still Magnolias, but I think quite a bit. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Y'all can correct me if you want. I really don't give a fuck. So Nicole is by this tree for an extended amount of time, and the killer is able to get up to her. And so he stabs her in the chest, slits her throat, and then he takes her body and he dips her into the creek. Now, at this point, it starts doing this cut thing where on first look, it looks like it's a flashback because he's dipping her while this is happening. It's a cut scene of someone else being dipped into water.
Well, we call it baptism.
Yes. Yeah. But, it's not a flashback. It just ends up being the next scene. So, yeah. Okay. So the next scene is that this girl is being baptized and this stupid small church outside is watching. The sheriff is there. And I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong or don't, but I'm 99% sure that cops don't wear their uniforms to church.
Wait, so is he at church or is he just observing?
No, he's at church.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, he's at church because he's part of he's singing with a
maybe Indiana does something different than we do.
I hate how you think this is in Indiana.
Well, where is it?
Alabama, probably.
Alabama? I mean, do they ever say where they're at?
Florida.
No,
but it's got to be
Florida.
It's yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
that
you're
makes
right.
sense.
Everybody has a pool.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Like swampy Florida, like some buttfuck area of Florida, like there aren't a million.
Those are the most fun parts of Florida.
Well, that's true. So anyway, the sheriff is actually part of this church and is in his garb. Well, not his garb. He's in his uniform.
Garb.
Yeah, but he's interrupted by the sergeant, who is played by the director of the movie, Bill Heinzman. He's the director is actually the first zombie in the original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, really?
Yes. So the director is that, and he also plays the sergeant. So he comes up and he tells...
so one of those zombies got up and pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and actually did something. Okay. See, zombies are good.
Yeah.
All right.
So he comes up and he tells the sheriff about the murders, and so the sheriff immediately leaves. Also, by the way, the baptism cleansed this girl's soul forever. Just FYI.
I hope so.
Just
you ever
been
know. Baptized?
Yeah, I actually have. Yeah,
dude, I have to do it every week. The shit I do.
I probably should. Yeah.
No, dude. Pornhub has this little click option of like virtual baptism. It's fucking amazing. It cleanses you.
I need to check out.
No, there's a lot of fucking priests on Pornhub.
You know what I bet though? Like I was thinking about in the summer, you could go baptize yourself, but like you probably wouldn't want to do it in the quarry because of like all the shit that goes on in there.
Well, I mean, there's no body of water you'd want to do it in, but once it's blessed, it's cleansed.
Yeah, but that quarry isn't blessed.
Somebody surely have.
It's blessed by sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That is one sexy swimming hole that has been blessed by the Lord Himself. That sexy swimming hole is full of the blood of Jesus Christ, and you should be so lucky to bathe in it.
Gross. After the sheriff finds out about these murders, he leaves, and we cut to Roland Martell. He's a detective, and he's in bed.
That's a hell of a detective name. Roland Martell?
Yeah.
Remington Steele.
He's in bed with his girlfriend, who we already said is the coach for the Majorettes.
He's got an in.
Yeah. And they're talking about how this whole movie, it's riddled with church stuff, but some of it's really insane. So they're talking about how she used to go to church every Sunday before she met him, but they met at church, so why didn't he go anymore? And then this is the first time of a few times that he says this, or she says, "You're supposed to be a godparent," and then she says, "How can you be a godfather if you don't believe in God?"
I think she's misled about what that means.
Yeah, I'm like, everyone's misled in this movie about what that means. Roland Martell is misled about what that means.
I don't think he is. I think he understands, and I think he's just trying to keep the relationship working because his girl said something fucking ridiculous.
Not when he talks to the preacher later.
Oh yeah.
No, no.
God damn it.
Yeah, because...
I said God damn.
I mean, okay, so some couple had a kid, and they were just like, hey... we want you to be their godfather. That doesn't mean that you know everything about God now. That doesn't mean it's shit.
Apparently it does.
Oh, in this movie it does. Anyway, he didn't say that he didn't believe in God. He just said that he didn't strongly believe in God.
Oh, we got an agnostic on our hands here.
Yeah,
we got a runner.
He like kinda does, or I don't know. So he gets a phone call about the murders, so he has to go.
A detective gets a phone call about the murders?
Yeah, but he knows there's going to be this typical jurisdiction fight. Eye roll.
Paperwork.
No, not that. Every single movie where the detective has to fight with the sheriff because he's in his territory, and God, I'm over it.
Well, I love it. The local cops scope it out, and then the detective comes and is like, "Hey, man, let me do my job." And it's like, "Well, they were doing their job."
Well, come to find out.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, he was doing his job anyway.
Sorta.
Also, after he gets the phone call and gets off the phone, he's basically just like turns to her. He knows that this is a majorette and another person that goes to the school where she's the coach, and he's just like, "Oh, by the way, they're dead, honey. Bye."
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Okay. So then we're at the crime scene. This is pretty short. There's the power struggle between the detective and the sheriff. Who fucking cares?
Jeez.
It's so annoying. Who cares? So you have someone else that can help you.
So one of these majorette dies. Who gives a fuck?
No, not that. It's just like, who cares about like that someone's coming in to fucking help you?
Why did you direct this movie?
Well, that's a good question. The sergeant doesn't say it, though. The sergeant just is in and out. But, okay, so now we're at football practice. But we're not just at football practice. It ends up being this whole thing that's ridiculous, and I've never seen it done before. But the coach is telling Jeff, he's a star quarterback, that he needs to try harder. Okay, so whatever. Then we see.
I think that's just coaching.
Yeah.
You're not good enough yet.
Yeah, well, he basically is saying your head's not in the game, which we find out why later. What's been bothering him?
Does he go down on the coach?
No, we find out.
Is that how he gets his head in the game?
No, the reason he hasn't been all there is because he's been thinking about something that he saw.
He hasn't been all there because he hasn't been all here.
In your heart?
No. Like Disney? Oh, wait. No, Disney's too woke now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Pixar? Is Pixar part of Disney? I don't know. DreamWorks? One of those. I don't care.
DreamWorks is a pedophile corporation. They eat babies.
Good. Okay, so Harry, the janitor, that's
Harry janitors? That was my whole school.
I'm sorry, Harry.
School terms.
Harry, quote, Gomer Pyle
Schuler
or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So he stumbles into the practice
of Nazi lineage.
Yeah, and he's watching with a big shitting grin on his face because that's anyway. And then he moves up to the bleachers
to eat a sandwich.
To eat a sandwich?
He's eating lunch.
Is he chugging a sandwich?
Oh, he's not butt chugging it.
They were like, go.
I guarantee the gang of toughs that's about to meet him would make him do that.
The gang of toughs is a much better way to describe them than I've seen described on. Anyway, okay. So he heads up to the bleachers with his binoculars because football practice is over. Now, this is something that I've never seen done. It's ridiculous. The marching band, the cheerleaders, the Majorettes, and the dance team are all practicing in unison at the same time. And also, by the way, the Majorettes are terrible.
Yeah, none of them are in sync.
At all, which is funny when we come up to this other thing that I'm going to say. Anyway, while he's watching them with the binoculars, the gang of toughs, and by the way, they're like Confederate toughs.
One of them is.
No, not all of all of them are.
Well, later we'll see that one of them's not. I don't know why.
Well, you don't. You're assuming.
Well, okay. So
you're assuming one of them's not because you think he doesn't look Anglo-Saxon.
Okay, sure. Hear me out.
He can be a Nazi.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about like the tall one with the beard, this tall and silent guy. Even though
Bert,
I think so. But so they've got this Confederate theme going on, and I don't know why, because they're in Indiana.
They're in Florida now.
I don't think they are. They think they are. I don't think they know where they're at.
Well, Florida, I don't know.
But on top of that, it's like they have this Confederate theme going on, and one of them, I'm not trying to be a jerk,
loves it.
No, the leader Mace looks kind of strongly Puerto Rican, and I don't really know how. I mean, that is South. But I don't know. I don't know what the fascination with this the street toughs is with the.
Well, maybe he just doesn't give a shit because he's the leader of the gang. He is the leader of the gang. He is the leader of the gang. You know.
Yeah, sure.
And he just listens to that all the time, so he can ignore this bullshit. I guess.
I guess he's living his best side story, but I don't really know exactly what's going on.
He's not with his girlfriend.
Well, nobody is, but but it's like I don't understand the Confederate theme.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
It's just thrown in there.
It's like they're punk, but they're not punk. They're like punk rock on
they're like
Confederacy.
They're not even like skinheads. They're just like redneck Appalachian.
And one of them really gets into the theme.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. So anyway, Harry's watching all them with his binoculars. The gang of, it's not the whole gang, it's only 4 of them, show up. And Harry apparently used to use toot, which is heroin, if you didn't know that.
Horse, skag, toot.
But he calls it, they call it toot. So, and he used to buy it from Mace, who is the leader of this gang. And Mace wants his money.
Wait a minute. So Harry, that fucking like inbred idiot, is
using
like,
heroin.
That guy knows how to tie up and shoot up without putting a bubble into his fucking
He probably
vein.
was just snorting it.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know this because we never see it happen, but if I had to take a guess, I never met Harry either. I never saw him do toot.
I've met plenty of Harrys that are like that, but
he
not
seems
him.
like the type.
Well, so he's tooting the toot.
Well, he's not anymore.
He toots as he pleases.
So Mace, apparently he bought it from Mace, and Mace wants the money that he owes him, which is $150.
In 1987? So that'd be like
or 80, really
like
86
$4,000 in today's dollars.
Really 86, because I don't know. I don't know inflation.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't give a fuck. I don't know.
Like $4,000, right?
All I know is what things cost now.
Then they just keep going up.
And if it changes, I won't remember anything before that.
Well, by the end of the day, I will know what heroin costs.
And who knows even how much he bought, so we don't even know like the amount, so whatever.
Harry was buying a lot of heroin, a lot of toot.
I don't think it was, but I don't know why I'm making these assumptions. He's snorting it. I don't know.
How does Harry do drugs?
I don't care. I don't know why I'm even thinking about it. Anyway, so he owes Mace $150, but he doesn't have that on him. And they tell him, well, you could start dealing at the school. And Harry, he can't do that because he'll get in trouble. And I'm like, well, maybe you could just sell it through that air vent of a peephole that you have.
Well, maybe if Harry started selling it at that high school or wherever the fuck it is, maybe he wouldn't have to use the fucking binoculars. He'd just have a bitch begging.
Yeah.
Why didn't they illuminate him on that and be like, hey man, if you turn one of those majorettes onto this,
yeah, like, they should have brought Margaret along.
Yeah, they'll be crawling to
prove how awful you can be to a human being and then still be with you.
Poison the majorettes.
So anyway, Harry does have, out of the $150, he does have $83 on him at this moment.
I wonder why he has that amount.
Oh, I also question that.
And why is he just eating a sandwich if he's got $83 yet he's in debt 100 and how much?
50. So 50. He doesn't know that, but he only owes $67 more.
Yeah.
I did that in my head. I didn't. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's more constructive than the shit that goes on in my head.
So Mace grabs the $83 and he's like, you better have the rest of it by tomorrow or Tila.
No. He says you better have the rest of it by the end of the day, and then
no.
Okay.
But he says by tomorrow, or Tila is going to come break your legs. I don't know who Tila is. We never find out. But Harry says like, I'm not going to have it by. Hold on. I'm not going to have it by then, but I get paid on Thursday.
And they're cool with that.
And he goes, okay, and then Mace goes, okay.
See, they're
but that's the deadline.
Yeah, I like that they walk it back.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, that's reasonable.
I'll also break your legs tomorrow if you don't have it tomorrow. But I have to wait 3 days for you to get a paycheck. Fine, new deadline.
No, it's like dealing with the bill chasers on phones. You know, it's like, no, I'll have it back to you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, or like, can I pay $15 a week?
I've done my fair share of drugs, and I have never met a drug dealer that was cool like that, man.
Being like, okay, I'll wait. Even though I just said I'm going to break your legs if you don't have it by tomorrow. But, okay, yeah, I'll wait till you get your paycheck.
Well, I also have a thing of like, I've only bought drugs off one person, or I've only bought drugs one time that I thought if I owed them money, I'd be scared. Other than that, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that he's
know
like...
Know your dealer, kids.
That he's like, well, okay, then that's the deadline. Mm-hmm. He's real hardcore. I mean, you're not scary, Mace.
If I ever dealt drugs, that's what I would do. I'd be a really hard-ass drug dealer, but whenever it came time to like pay money, I'd be like, no, it's cool. I'd be an asshole about it, too. I'd be like, no, you need to get me that fucking money right now. Oh, you can't? All right.
Yeah. Very threatening to give him extra time and go back on your word.
If you don't fucking pay me, I'll hit you up.
Later.
Yeah.
Whenever I think
Get me back.
I should.
Get me back, motherfucker, or else.
I mean, it's like, yeah, gets very threatening to give him, but then goes back on his word immediately, but still tries to yell about it. It's okay.
No, I think this is like a street tough that's like in training. Like, you know, he's going through it.
How'd he get to be the leader?
Oh, I mean, have you met the other guys?
True. Okay,
they
true.
suck.
Okay, so cut to the Majorettes have finished. Everyone's finished practice. Everybody that never happens. But the Majorettes all meet up in a circle, and the coach says, usually the Majorettes. Usually, I know we have an extra practice after the practice. You can't tell. They're bad.
Yeah, no, she's a bad coach.
That's shocking that you have extra practices because y'all are the worst on the field. But they're not going to have it today because of the murders. And Jeff walks up because Jeff is dating Judy. Okay. Now now we get into the first of a string of fights between Jeff and Judy about how, okay, by the way, this is still summer. They have 2 weeks until school starts, and they're going to be seniors. They have a whole year left together. But Judy will not stop fighting with him about how in a year he might get a scholarship and get to move out of this shithole place and do something with his life, and they're going to have to break up. And then the majorette coach goes like, I can help you with like money, like finding tuition if you want to, go. And she's like, no. But she continues to berate Jeff.
Well, maybe it wouldn't be like that if she was a better majorette and she could get a scholarship.
But I'm just like, you have a year with him. This isn't even you're not even in the school year yet. And then on top of that, you're a shitty girlfriend because you're like, oh, you might have an opportunity.
I don't know. It's also another thing of late in the 80s, it's like, the American dream is dying. Inflation's going up, and maybe you and Jeff ain't going to be together for the rest of your lives.
I mean, it's only costing $150 right now.
No. That dream died in 77.
Yeah. So, anyway, after that little fight, which is going to continue, but Vicky, Judy, and Jeff are going to go shopping and eat. So
that fixes everything.
Yeah. We're at the diner.
Drugstore.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't care. They're eating. So Vicky, during this scene, she very nonchalantly talks about her parents dying in a car wreck.
She also talks about how she's 17, which she is not.
Yeah. Well, she also talks about that her 18th birthday is in a week and a half, and school starts back in 2 weeks. So that's how we know about that.
Vicky is a solid 32.
Yeah. Anyway, after she tells the story about her parents dying and the car wreck, she talks about how her grandma had a stroke last year. Okay, cool.
Nobody cares about your grandma.
That that is an important thing to know about, but at the moment when you're watching, you're like, okay. So Jeff says, my head's not been in the game. The reason that I have not been doing well at football practice is because I saw something. And he feels bad that he didn't say anything. It's been on his mind. So what he saw was Nicole, the girl that got killed, at the drive-in with Mace, and she was crying. So Jeff is assuming that Mace had beat her up or something, and that he should probably go to the police because Mace is probably the killer. Okay, that's a big assumption, but okay. Then they're like, you better be careful because if Mace finds out, he's going to kill you. I don't think so because he's given 100 deadlines, but
it's a weird thing to be in high school and like have a known person that will actually murder you. And
he won't though. He'll just be like, well,
maybe I'll do it later.
I'm going to give you until next week and maybe I'll kill you then.
Yeah.
Okay. So
if you just pay Mace his money, or if you don't, it's probably pretty cool.
Okay, so we cut to Barbara and Shirley. They're two of the other majorettes.
Babs.
Yeah, I made sure to know all these females' names, which a lot of people don't give a fuck, but it's Barbara and Shirley. They're walking home together, and Shirley is talking about how she thinks they need to stick together to be safe because of the murders. Barbara kind of poo-poos her, but she said, okay, fine, I'll walk home with you, but we can't do this forever. Who even knows if this is a thing?
We can't do this forever. I'm not really even your friend.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But Shirley says, your parents aren't home, are they? And then we see a first-person POV from inside the house. And Barbara asks Shirley to come over to swim later. And she might. So, who cares?
Everybody's got a pool. It's Indiana, Florida.
By the way, this first-person POV just ended up being her mom, who immediately says that she's on her way out. She's leaving. So, Barbara starts getting ready to go swimming. She changes. There's a first-person POV while she's changing. It takes her about 20 minutes from changing, walking around the house, going outside, testing the water. Then she gets a phone call, goes back in because Shirley called her. Is Shirley going to come over? I don't know. We never find. Well, we do find out, kind of. I assume, but from the phone call, we don't know.
I don't know. Don't knock her, man. Like, I take my time with shit.
Not if I don't want to watch you doing it in a movie.
I'm a slow moving animal,
and I'm not watching you in a movie.
I'm a slow thinking animal too.
And I'm not watching you in a movie.
Do you want to?
No.
I got some.
Gross.
Ugh.
So, anyway, she finally does get in the pool. And almost immediately, she's stabbed in the chest. Her throat's slit. And conveniently, she's already in a pool. So, a body of water. So, she's able to be baptized right there and then. Very convenient for the killer.
Yeah, chlorine holifies everything.
Yeah. So immediately after that, there's the crime scene. And everybody and God is standing out there. Like, there's like 2-year-olds out there.
You got to get them young.
I mean, everybody in that town looks like they're standing out there. And I'm I don't think
it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not just the street. It's everyone.
Yeah, it's everybody.
That's the one thing I didn't understand is why the fuck are the kids there? And it looks kind of late.
Yeah, and they're bringing out a dead fucking body. So this is what makes me think that Shirley did say she was going to come over, because I think that the only way this makes sense is that Shirley had to have come over and found Barbara to call the cops.
Or maybe Shirley knew what the fuck was going on over at Bab's house and knew to stay the fuck away.
I think Shirley went over and found her. That was an assumption I made. So
sure.
The coroner clearly wants to get the fuck out of this scene very fast. He's in there for about a second. They ask him if it could have been, if the weapon that was used. Detective and sheriff asked the coroner if the weapon that was used was the same that was used on Nicole and Tommy, and he's like, I don't know, it looks like it, but I'm not really sure. Knife. And then he tells them that Nicole was pregnant. So they're like, maybe if we can find the father.
I'm just now telling the police this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then he's like, I gotta go. He's like, yeah, really, it's like that. He's like, well, see you later, bye.
You know how this town is. I'm real busy.
And now we get to where the sheriff and the detective are putting things together.
Fun never stops in Indiana, Florida.
They decide Indiana, Florida. So they decide together that the water is a purification ritual. Okay. Mm-hmm. From 2 murders. Okay.
You ever gotten in some water?
No, I've never stepped in water.
I have yet, but I've heard about the purification.
Every time, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not true, because I take a shower every day, and that... Okay, so...
I don't.
I know. Well, obviously, since everyone in God is at the crime scene, Jeff and Judy are also there. And so now Jeff has to tell the police what he knows. Mm-hmm. And Judy's going to go with him. And... whatever.
That's a part of the movie. It's whatever.
I don't know. Oh! The sergeant asks him, "Is this on a level?" And then he lets him go.
I think he says, "Is this on the level?"
Whatever. What does that mean?
I think that means that Jeff has come with malarkey before, and they're tired of his shit.
So yeah, so it doesn't show him talking.
They've gotten a bunch of calls about UFOs from Jeff, and yeah. they're real sick of it.
So Jeff, it doesn't show Jeff talking to the sheriff, but it cuts.
Jeff thinks he saw a vampire one time.
Yeah, it cuts to this weird stripper pool bar place.
This is the best bar ever, except the vibe.
Yeah. So the redneck gang is there. Mace shows up after being let go from the police because the Popo didn't have a reason to keep him. Because Margaret, his girlfriend, gave him an alibi. Don't know why, because he is so mean to her all the time. He, like, literally every time she says a word to him, like, can I get you a beer? He's like, shut the fuck up, bitch, sit down, I fucking hate you.
No. This goes on with women in that gang's circle.
No, they like Angel, the one cooking.
Whenever they get back to their Confederate trailer.
When she's cooking, they like her. The Angel, the blonde.
Yeah. I mean, but still, like, they're very mean.
They don't yell at her. They don't, like, for everything she says, like, fuck off, bitch. I mean, it's bizarre. Anyway.
Why do they hang around them?
Because girls...
Is it the toot?
Girls are... I don't know.
Oh, toot's a little honky tonk.
No, I don't think it's a toot. But anyway, girls are stupid too.
It's got to be the toot.
So anyway, he knows that Jeff talked. Bad sign. Anyway, this is a really stupid scene, but it also allows for the redneck of the biggest redneck of this Confederate gang to show off something.
A Confederate flag.
Before that, Mace threatens to kill Margaret for, I think, offering to get him a beer.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you do.
So this real redneck, they're all redneck, but this real redneck gang member has a gun from the Civil War or something, and he goes, the slugs can't be traced. I bet your bottom dollar that they can. If someone found a fucking bullet that was from the goddamn Civil War, that's pretty traceable.
These guns can't, if they are traced, the bullets will be put in a museum. It's okay.
Yeah, they won't care.
They'll melt the bullets down, make a statue.
So anyway, we're back at Vicky's house, and Helga brings Elvira lemonade. This part kills me. Vicky goes talking about her grandmother. She's like, she seems so disturbed, almost as if she's frightened by something. How the fuck did you get to that, Vicky? Because Elvira's face has not changed through the whole movie.
Listen, Vicky, in your 17 years, how did you get to this conclusion? Your grandmother hasn't said a goddamn thing in 20 years.
She hasn't even changed her fucking face.
She hasn't said a goddamn thing because everybody's so stupid.
Yeah. So Nazi Helga explains it away.
Nazi Helga.
We cut to Roland. He's talking to the preacher, who is played by, we're coming to get you, Barbara, Johnny from Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't notice.
Yes.
I didn't catch.
So this conversation...
To get you, Barbara.
Yeah. This conversation's dumb, but it adds to the motive of the churchiness tone. And once again... The preacher talks about baptism and purification, and Roland says that he understands all this because he's a godparent, so he knows everything about baptisms.
Okay.
That's not how it works, Roland. Okay.
Yeah,
so
they take the godparent thing really serious.
Yeah. But this church is more fundamental, so they do total immersion and a total cleansing.
Yeah.
And after that, the preacher kind of just gives a mini sermon to Roland, and the scene's over.
So, okay, let's get this out of the way. So, godparenting is if the parents die, like in a car wreck or something like that, or a plane crash, you end up being the guardians.
You would be the last in line. It would be your family first.
Okay.
Then maybe.
So if the entire family and lineage was wiped out, then you take care of the kids.
And sometimes people just do it just to be nice, like, okay, you're the godparent.
And then by that time they're probably like 16 and 17, so you don't even have to do it.
Yeah, and it really doesn't mean shit.
Okay, so it's just being like, hey man, I like you.
Like, you're my friend, so I'm like, you're my best friend, so I'm going to make you the godfather. Yeah. But this doesn't mean anything really.
I like you. Okay. Like, I like you a lot.
Well, this definitely doesn't mean that like, because of this, everything about church.
Yeah, I like you a lot, but not like that way. Just like you and your wife.
Because I'm a godfather, I have to learn everything about religion.
Hey man, I like you and your wife a lot. Do you like our kids? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So we cut to Jeff and Judy. They're fighting again about this whole college thing. Judy needs to stop. I'm over her.
Neither one of them are going to college.
So Also, they have a year left, so I don't... Shut the fuck
It's
up,
a whole
Judy.
year to get kicked out of school.
I mean, for you, but...
Hey.
Every...
Just because it happened doesn't mean it was a bad thing.
Oh,
hey, stop it, Emily.
You just admitted it, not me. So at this point, because they were fighting, everyone else, all the other majorettes have showered and they're leaving. And
aren't they clean? Aren't they purified?
You would think. Anyway, especially because...
just go and bless the shower nozzles and let those bitches do whatever the fuck they want.
With the next scene, you would think.
Yeah.
But I guess none of them get killed, so...
If you get bathed in holy water every day, can't you go out and do the worst shit every night?
I think all you have to do is, like, say, hey, God, sorry.
That's what I've come to realize.
I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I'm not a godfather, so I don't know. I'm not a godparent, so I don't understand religion.
You're not a member of the mafia?
No, I'm not a godparent, so I don't know anything about religion.
Right, Don Corleone.
So, yeah, well, I am that kind of godfather. But anyway, okay, so Jeff is supposed to take her home, but because they're fighting, he's like, fuck this, and he walks away. So she goes...
That'll fix everything, guys. Yeah. Trust me.
So she goes to take a shower. This is the only, for me, this is the only creepy shot in the movie. When she's walking to take a shower, you see one of the shower stalls, and then you see another one next to it, and behind that, like, you know, whatever the glass is, it's that mosaic type, whatever.
Shower door.
Yeah, that, but you know, it's that glass.
Frosted.
Yeah, whatever. You see the killer behind there, and she doesn't see him, and that shot's really creepy.
Yeah, you got a little psycho thing going on.
Yeah. Also, Harry is still in his little air vent peephole watching, so just keep that in mind. So the killer comes out. He stabs, slits. Then he throws. He has to do a makeshift purification, so he just dumps her under the shower water. But during their struggle, before this, she grabs his mask and takes it off, and Harry gets a picture. Mm-hmm. So, now we see...
The advantages of being a voyeur.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah. So now we see Vicky, and she's walking outside with two of the other majorettes, and she sees Jeff in the parking lot. He had decided to not leave. He wasn't going to actually leave her. But Judy's taking a really long time, so they're like, we should go back in and look for her. So they go back in. They both go into the shower, whatever. They find her dead. Okay. So Sheriff Braden goes to Vicky's. Don't know why. At all. But Helga had called... Oh, I know why. Sorry. There is a reason. Helga had called him with quote-unquote evidence. Somehow, in this 5-minute time period where Harry took this picture and also had to develop the picture in a dark room, somehow this picture came out.
Harry is the living Polaroid.
I mean, I was like, this... Okay. So, somehow Harry had already been able to process this photo from Judy's killing, and the killer is... Dun, da, 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 who do you think it is?
Skeet Ulrich.
I wish. No, it's Webster. It was Webster. No, it's Sheriff Braden.
It was Webster. Shit. It was Mr. Belvedere.
It's Sheriff Braden. Helga and Harry tie him up, and he tries to explain to them why he was killing these girls. And he's like, they're flaunting their bodies, and they're sinful, and they need to be purified.
Well, they're doing the Lord's work, and I've got to stop it. They were fucking the unfuckables.
You know what they were doing? They were making him get a hard on.
Yeah.
That's it. So, okay. So Helga and Harry are like, we don't really give a shit. We're fine with you killing these people. However,
there is a price tag.
You can't kill Vicky until after she turns 18. Which I think at this point he says something like, why would I kill Vicky? And I'm like, well, bitch, because she also shows off her body. But
no, she a hoe.
Okay. But the reason that he can't kill Vicky until after she turns 18 is because Vicky gets $500,000 from the trust her parents set up only after she turns 18.
Okay, you're right. This did not take place in Indiana.
Mm-mm. So they need that, and after Vicky's killed, they're going to get that. Plus, then they're going to kill Elvira and get all of her inheritance and be able to sell everything in the house. So they need him in on this.
Leave it to Nazis to sell off priceless art.
So now we see Roland. He's on a date with the majorette coach. He gets a phone call about Judy being dead. That seems dumb. By the time
I get one of those calls every Tuesday.
Yeah, it's in a restaurant too. It's like, there's someone on the phone. Like, how does that happen?
Judy's dead again.
Like, we found you at the we called every restaurant in town to find you. Whatever. Okay.
Wait, what do you mean? You called everywhere except Louis?
Yeah. So yeah,
Louis Spaghettitorium.
That's right. They're probably at the Clam Slam for Maniac.
Clam Slam, yeah.
But by the time Roland, so he's like, bye, I gotta go. But by the time he gets to the police office, the sheriff, is that what it's called?
I
the
don't
police
know
office?
anymore.
Okay. I said PO. I think it's a police office.
Nothing makes sense. Stare into the void. It
I
might
don't
stare
know.
back.
The place where the police, are headquartered.
Where they hang out.
They hang out there.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so
It's also the spaghetti room.
by the time
the ravioli room, if you will.
By the time Roland gets there, the sheriff is like, well, I'll let Vicky and Jeff go. And then there's some kind of like psychological talk that doesn't make any sense. But Vicky,
way too intellectual for the likes of us.
Well, not for me. That's what I have my degree in, and I know
shit.
and it didn't make any fucking sense.
All right.
So
yeah, fucking $20 words over here.
You're the one that said I can't read.
Well, obviously, I've been proven wrong.
I mean, I didn't read the back of that box very well, but you know. So anyway, okay, Vicky and Jeff get.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I said it.
All right, Vicky.
Vicky and Jeff get back to the high school parking lot because that's where Jeff's car is, and the redneck gang shows up.
Whoa! But at this fucking scene, there is nothing that I don't understand. Everybody in this fucking scene blocks every car in.
Yeah.
There's no way to get out of this parking lot when they're done.
So yeah, the redneck gang comes to kidnap them, but it looks impossible.
Even before they get there, fucking Vicky and Jeff park behind another car in a parking spot.
See, I thought it was just Jeff's car, but
well, okay, sorry. I apologize for disrupting, but go on. But yes, it's a complete parking.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
So they're taking Vicky and Jeff to this warehouse. Well, Harry sees this happen. He's like, "Oh God, Mama's gonna be mad. Mama's gonna be mad." So he gets in his car and follows them.
Don't know why she would care about that.
Because Vicky can't be killed.
Well, I understand, but.
So anyway, he follows them to the warehouse. This scene is far too long. Harry walks in to the warehouse and he starts this diatribe, and the gang has no fucking clue because they don't know about this plot that he has with his Nazi mom. But he's like, "Don't hurt Vicky," and he tries to explain why. But everyone's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
You know, if they would have let him talk a little bit more, it would have been maybe like the Confederacy and the Nazism would have fucking combined. But this scene is a turmoil because of lack of communication.
Yeah, that's true. Most relationships are.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, man,
I just turned
that's
into
waxing romantic.
Turned into Dear Abby or Delilah.
Delilah.
Or John Tesh.
No.
He gives fun facts.
Fuck
Okay, anyway,
him.
all right.
Fuck John Tesh.
So, hey, okay, Mace and Bart start fighting over. They start fighting.
Unless it's John Tesh from E! Entertainment. All right.
So it is the same person.
I know.
Okay. Anyway,
well, there's two different ones.
Okay, Mace and Bart fight. So the other redneck, the one with the Civil War gun, he shoots and kills Bart. Then he kills Harry. Then he kills Vicky.
So he kills only white people.
Well, who else was in there?
I don't know, but that's not what the Confederacy did.
Well, I don't know why all this happened. It just did. So Vicky's dead. So that part of this inheritance plan, she can get the Elvira stuff, but the Vicky plan fucked. And also Harry's dead now. So Jeff is like, I'm gonna get revenge. So this is what he does. He goes home and his dad or whoever has a fucking gun cabinet with literal like assault rifles and machine guns.
He's got an M16 military issue fucking.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's now he's Rambo.
And let the Ramboing begin.
And let it begin, because now this was a slasher, and now it is an action movie.
And this scene goes on for way too long.
But now this is an action movie. This is another action slasher. So, anyway, he gets all that stuff. He goes to the gang's hideout. There's a camper with some vans and tanks of gas around.
It's a trailer.
Yeah. It is, with a Confederate flag inside. Anyway, inside, Angel, you don't know who she's just this blonde girl that's cooking for them. She's cooking, and Mace is talking about how they need to get out of town because all the shit that happened. And he's being mean to Margaret, per usual. He yells.
Does she try to get up and get him a beer or a sandwich?
She tries
to
do something for him. And he's like, "Shut the fuck up and sit down."
Yeah, it's amazing.
To a regular fucking question,
yeah,
but okay.
Control your bitch with violence.
So Jeff Jeff is outside. He takes his shirt off, and I like that when that happens. But his body isn't as good as Chuck's.
No,
Ted Pryor. I mean,
that's not.
He got like man boobs a little bit, but anyway.
Come on, I got them too.
Well, I'm not looking at your body thinking that you're saturated. What were you? I'm talking like compared to Chuck.
That's why I don't take my shirt off.
Okay.
You're body shaming me.
I'm not at all, but I've seen you without your shirt on, so you're just lying.
Well, it's just you're body shaming.
I am not. I just said you don't look like Chuck. Anyway.
I want to.
Okay, well, then become a bodybuilder.
I want to be Commander Chuck, the Eye of the Skyways.
Anyway, so, okay. Jeff takes his shirt off. He puts it in the gas tank of one of the vans, and he lights it on fire. So he can basically, this is like pre-Columbine, but this is basically what he's planning to do was what Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris wanted to do at Columbine, but failed because most of the bombs didn't go off. Anyway, so he wants to shoot the gang as they are running out of the camper because of the explosion, which was the Columbine plan. In a lower scale. But anyway, so now there's a Rambo bloodbath, car explosion. Mace everyone gets shot. Either they get shot like individually, or the car they're in gets shot and blows up. Everyone dies except for Mace, who only gets shot in the leg, and he runs.
Oh, that's how it happens when you get shot in the leg. You run.
Yeah. So Jeff finally finds Mace after way too long.
No, it's forever.
Then he just shoots the fucking shit out of him.
Well, yeah. Mace had it coming.
So now Helga's pissed that Becky's dead.
Well, at least Jeff won the Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah. So Helga's pissed that Vicky's dead, and I guess sad that Harry's dead, but she doesn't really care, I don't think. And she's preparing to kill Elvira. She does kill her. She shoots her up with something that kills her. And then the sheriff shows up and kills Helga. But he tells her, he hangs her, but he tells her he's not going to purify her.
Does that mean she's going to hell?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, no.
And then he leaves evidence, like his combat attire, the stuff he wore when he killed people, and the weapon and everything. He leaves all that in Harry's dark room, so he sets up that Harry was the killer all along.
Yeah, because
and that Helga killed herself after she found out that Harry was the killer.
Yeah, because 1986, 87, forensics hadn't really come that far along.
No. So Jeff wakes up and he's a hero in the hospital. No, he doesn't wake up. He's just sitting there, but they call it, the detective and the sheriff call him a hero, and they're like, basically, thanks for doing our job and getting the scum off the street, and we'll get you exonerated. But he's not, he's unconscious, so
yeah.
Okay. So cue to the last scene in the movie, which is maybe one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
It's pretty good.
So there's there's some little girls. They're about 4 to 12 years old, practicing to be majorettes, and they do a little.
But they're pure though.
Well, the camera pans, and guess who's watching them? Webster.
Webster?
No, it's the sheriff.
It's the sheriff?
Yeah, the sheriff is watching because he's watching.
I thought it was Danny Bonaducci.
Well, it could have been. Or is that the same guy? Is that the guy that was in Partridge Family? Or he's the guy from
that was
New
the
Jersey.
child that was in Partridge Family. He grew up to be a monster of a man.
But who was the guy that was in New Jersey that had the girl, like that guy?
Glenn Danzig?
No,
Bruce Springsteen?
That's like
John Bon Jovi?
teenage girlfriend, like tried to kill his wife, and then he got real famous for it. He has a name like Bonaducci or something.
Tom Sizemore?
It's like Harry Bonaducci. I don't know.
Harry Bonaducci.
Anyway, so
Belafonte?
No. Yeah, it's Harry Belafonte. No. Buttafuoco.
Buttafuoco.
His name's Buttafuoco.
That sounds like a Jersey trash name.
Yep. But anyway, so the sheriff is watching because I guess he's looking for the girls that are going to end up becoming his next victims.
Yeah, they're going to suck a dick.
The budget was about $85,000. I've already gone through the other fun facts. You know, the writer, the director, you know, Johnny is in it.
Johnny.
So I'll quickly go through the deaths. 1, Tommy, his neck slashed by the sheriff. This is weird. Okay, this is weird. 2, Nicole, stab, slit, water, sheriff. Number 3, Barbara, stab, slit, water, sheriff. 4, Judy, stab, slit, water, sheriff. 5, Bard, he's shot by the gang member. 6 is Harry Schuler. He's also shot by the gang member. 7 is Vicky. She's shot by the gang member. 8 is Angel, who blows up in the car, I think, by Jeff. 9 is Margaret, also blows up in the car. 10 through like 15 are just random other gang guys. So we have at least we have more kills than it says because of that whole scene. So I get whatever. 10 through 14 is random gang guys. 15 is Mace. He's shot by Jeff. 16 is Elvira. She's poisoned by Helga. And then 17 is Helga, and she's hung by the sheriff. Now.
Oh, whoa. You forgot one.
Who?
Nicole's baby.
Oh, okay. 18.
Was that a little moment of silence for the unborn baby?
Yep, that's what I was doing. So what's interesting about this kill count, it is high, which I would expect from an action slasher. But the killer in the movie, his kill count is like the sheriff, his kill count is lower than Jeff's.
Yeah.
He has killed, the killer in the movie killed 5 people. Jeff killed at least 8.
Yeah.
Probably more.
He burned a whole house down.
I mean, yeah. So, anyway, that's all I got. So, what do you rate this one?
Before I rate it, I had the sneaking thought of like a really good idea for a movie of where an unborn baby is psionically making other people die. I think it'd be a good one. Okay, so 2 stars.
He didn't see my face. He did. Y'all can't.
No, it was nasty.
Thought it was a stupid idea.
No, it'd be good. Well, you didn't talk about Nicole's baby.
Well, excuse me for living. It was like 7 weeks.
I'm playing a benefit for Planned Parenthood tonight, and I just want to say,
Anyway.
That's what it's going to be.
What are the stars? What do you give it?
2.
A 2?
Yeah.
I give it a 2.5 out of 5.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I hated it the first time I watched it. And then I've watched it 2 times since then. I enjoyed it a lot more. It had good camaraderie. The kills, I mean, it takes a turn where it's not a slasher anymore at one point, but I still enjoyed that.
It becomes Rambo.
Yeah, I still enjoyed it. It was wild, like just the whole Helga Harry shit. I don't know, and all the church shit in it.
Yeah, there was too much of that. Too much.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious.
There was too much of the church stuff. Too much dialogue, and then too much of this like kind of building a mystery kind of thing.
Building a mystery.
But no,
he loves Sarah McLachlan.
I do. Lilith Fair. I was there every year.
You were like 5.
I was there.
Okay. All right. Well,
I've been to more than you.
Yeah, because I'm not lying. So stay gagged on a baton.
Stay gag on the Dixie Chicks who are not Dixie Chicks anymore. They're just the Chicks, and that used to be at Lilith Fair when I was 5.
They were not even popular till you were in 7th grade.
How do you know my timeline?
Because I know how old you are, and I remember getting that CD.
Oh.
So you would have been in 6th grade, and I was in 7th grade. So lie. Then they never played at Lilith Fair. But
how old was I in 6th grade?
You would have been at 11 or 12.
Stay gagged on that.
Okay. Stay gagged on that bayonet, I guess.
Go back in time and stay gagged on my 6th grade 11-year-old self.
Stay gagged on the toot.
Oh shit! I gotta get out of here and go sell some toot. Actually,
stay gagged on not having being a drug dealer, but not really giving deadlines.
I'll stay gagged on that because that is the coolest drug dealer ever. I only know one that would hurt me.
Yeah, don't stay gagged on any of those gang guys because they suck. But Mesa was kind of cute.
Yeah.
He
likes to live in America.
Right. So anyway, stay gagged on all our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Gag Me With a Knife podcast, and go to our website, gagmewithaknifepodcast.com, so you can buy our merch. And we will see you next time. Cue marching band.
Peace.
1, 2